Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Gravemire. I am Paxton, and I will be the dealer for this adventure.
Uh, Thank you. I'm Cameron here. I will be Jebediah and character.
Hi, I'm Eric. I will be playing Vance.
And I'm Grayson. I'll be playing Raquel. I guess just a
So,
quick recap. So we had downtime last time. Cameron's back. Yeah.
Jebediah is out of his drug-induced stupor.
for now.
Yeah.
All
We'll try to get
right.
you back in there soon.
It should not be particularly hard. I mean, um, so the three of you gather on the morning that you had agreed it was time to head back out into the swamp. Um,
Oh yes.
you meet on like there's a boardwalk that goes from the edge of town directly into the bayou. It's not the way that you came back in last time. It's a different route, but it's pretty close to there. Um, the vague directions that you were given to about where these mysterious plants you were looking for um, told you should go in that direction.
Is
So
um is Winthrop with us? I can't remember if we're doing both jobs at once. I know that was an option, but I can't remember.
we can decide now if you would like him to come with you on this one.
Um, so we're our main goal, go out and gather plants, right?
Yes, and I think the deal for him was just to drop him off
And
with
then
the giant and then pick him up if we had a chance.
yeah.
Yep.
Um, yeah. I don't see why not.
Now, I seem to remember that all I have to do is think about it, and I can find him.
All right.
While you are outside of Scarstone, that is true. But magic does not work inside of the border around town.
Perfect.
Yes. Okay. So then yes, I would say Winthrop's probably with us.
All right. Now, Wilthrop is a. I can't remember if I described him as old or not. But he is certainly worse for wear. If not the year, it's the mileage for him. Um, One of his hands is visibly, uh, I guess you could use the descriptor withered, and also missing a few fingers. Not in a like he wasn't born with five fingers kind of way, but in a some of his fingers were chopped off kind of way. Um, he also has something of a hunch, a stoop to the way he stands, and a hobble to his walk. He is leaning pretty heavily on a tall walking stick, where he waits for you on the boardwalk, and he is um, weighed down with this necklace covered in these chunky uh, carved charms and amulets.
That's right.
Um, but there is a sparkle in his eye and a smirk on his lips when he sees the three of you approaching. Now I see that you have decided to, or that none of you wimped out. I'm glad. This way we can make good on our bargain. Yes, Vance?
That's the plan.
Good, good. Uh, I'll I'll follow as you lead. And he gestures toward the the dark swamp, separated from town by the ephemeral barrier of Are those fireflies? None of you have really thought about it too much, but they sure look like fireflies.
Vance slings his newly acquired shotgun over his shoulder on this makeshift sling. He says, "The first step's the hardest," as he walks past the border.
All right. Immediately upon crossing the border, I need you to make a willpower check. Uh, to remind you, this is going to be rolling 2d8s, and your goal is to roll below your current willpower score.
And we're all doing it, right? Not just the first person?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All of you.
Crap. I failed.
Good start. Good start.
No, your goal is to roll below.
Yeah, I rolled a 12. So I'm
His
above.
roll was high.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
I was not reading. I was reading Cameron. So I was like, "Oh no, that's a good one. You're good."
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. So, Raquel, you lose 1 willpower. Everyone else, even Vance is good, I think.
Vance is good this time.
Oh boy.
Good job, Vance.
Yep.
I just got a good look at your health, though.
Oh yeah, that helped this.
That's not great.
I'll be stepping up to hit things with a frying pan and failing, but don't worry, it'll work. It'll totally work.
It'll probably help a little bit.
I'll be the very strong meat shield with an iron pan.
Absolutely. So, now that you have crossed the border, any of you who were marked by the giant can now focus just a little bit, and you know where you can find them. Oh, I should probably also mention, as soon as he crosses the border, Wilthrop, he like takes a deep breath, and it's almost like he inflates a little bit. He is suddenly able to stand up much taller. Um, his hand is still missing a pair of fingers, but it appears much healthier now, and in fact, seems to shine uh, almost like it is full of starlight.
Ah, yes. Totally expected.
Yeah, totally normal.
Is your hand okay?
Oh yes, my hand is better than it ever is inside the border, though. Uh, it's still hurts a bit.
To
Well,
Vance, Jebediah quietly says, I know we were talking about aliens before, but I didn't know we'd meet one so soon.
Vance does have a small chuckle.
Yeah. I think I take the lead. I'm like, to meet your friend, it's this way, because I got marked.
All right. So for this, I will need a roll related to moving quickly or finding your way. Um, if a person who is marked makes that roll, I will give you +2.
Okay, so I'm using my trailblazing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
2d12. It'll be a +5 total, so it's a 14.
A 14. Before I look at the chart, would you like to try to argue for any other or an additional skill being added?
For right now, no.
Okay. So a 14 is a partial success. Let's see, what does that look like narratively?
And before we get too far, while we're walking, if it's all right with you, I'd like to take some time to try doing experimental foraging to try to find things I can use as gastral poisons.
As poisons. Okay, absolutely.
Would you like me to roll the 2d12 for that?
Yes. Roll 2d12 plus your experimental foraging. And if you'd like, you can add your gastronomy skill as a tangential bonus.
So that'd be a +3 total then.
Yes.
So that's a 20.
Hoo.
Damn.
20 is a good.
And that's just while we're traveling. So
Yep.
it'll probably be at the end of whatever happens while traveling.
Absolutely. But that is a full success. So I will think about that while we also think about what a partial success on getting to the the giant looks like. Let me look at my notes.
Let me look at my notes. Let's see. Dealer.
Running into a danger is an obvious option, but I feel like that's pretty tough. I feel like
running into danger should be something that is like a negative twist that happens if you get a particularly bad roll here, you know?
Oh, you succeed at your task, but only partially.
Only
So,
partially.
like,
We're not.
Could just be that the trail or the path we're taking, we know exactly how to get there, but there's no easy way through it, so we have to take a detour.
I
Yeah, like
do like that.
time.
You have to take a detour or make another roll to get there, probably. Oh, you know what it is? The geography of the swamp is confusing and ever shifting. So I think you all find yourselves at the mess again, which, for those of you whose character was not fully conscious there, um, you you break through the trees and you see a large pond ahead of you and a river running from that pond uh, uh, back into the trees. And there is a large wooden bridge that crosses that river. You also see a a low hill bordering on the other side of the pond, and um, just a stand of absolutely huge trees on your right side. That is on the side of the river near you.
Oh no.
Y'all recognize this as the place with the huge snapping turtle and the many-headed egret.
Can we see the egret now?
Um, uh, Only if you make a skill check, I think.
Um,
Something to do
let's see.
with looking or seeing, perhaps through deception or just being good at seeing things.
Yeah. The closest thing I would have was that misdirection. But if this is the same place, I'm definitely looking.
Okay. So I will give you your misdirection bonus as a tangential one.
So just a +1.
Yes.
Can I? Oh, go ahead.
I was just wondering, is anybody else better at this role or have any?
No.
If it's not looking for food, I'm not better at it.
I mean, it depends on how certain you are that you can kill it if it's food.
I don't think I'm going to be able to find it any better than you.
Yeah. Am I able to use my surgery tangentially as like keeping a calm head to look around for it?
Sure. Yeah. I'll allow you to also roll with the +1.
15.
Mine would be an 18.
I believe One of those is a partial success, and the other one is a full success.
Yes.
Excellent. So, Vance, you are pretty sure you see movement up in the trees. Raquel, the movement you see in the trees, you recognize as being the uh, tiny heads of baby birds. Though, from that distance, maybe they're not so tiny. Um, but they're all doing the thing where they're pointed straight up, and you imagine that if the trees were shorter and you were closer by, you'd be able to hear them shrieking for food.
Ooh. So they're in the ridiculously large trees.
Yeah, they're like up in a nest up there. Even though I know, I hear you in the comments section. Egrets are largely ground nesting, if I remember correctly. This one isn't. It's fine.
Yeah. We're in the bayou now.
Yeah, all the rules are gone.
Yeah. I point them out to whoever's closest to me, and I'm like, I don't know if those are the same types of birds we saw earlier, but try not to draw attention to ourselves.
I'm down by the pond showing our friend who's following us. Now, if you look here, this here plant is going to be really good for a nice earthy taste. Really nice.
Oh yeah,
I
you have found just huge amounts of great stuff. A lot of it is recognizable as being at least related to stuff that you know, but you took a couple chances here and there and bruised a leaf and then sniffed it and then tasted a couple of them, and you're pretty sure that you're going to be able to make an amazing stew when it's time for lunch.
So, after seeing the things, I tell Vance about it, and I look to tell the other two who are down by the river, and I rush over to them and I pull them away from the water, and I start to be like, "Don't you remember the big turtle?"
The what?
Oh, we have a visitor.
Yep. Yeah, so I believe that was on Mr. Jebediah, who I'm talking to, so we'll have to pause a
Yeah,
little
sorry.
bit.
I said, the what now?
The big. Don't you remember the big turtle that like ate an entire fisherman? I point.
The hill over there.
Yeah, I point to the
Vance
hill.
points at the hill
Yeah.
at the same time.
I do not, but I will take your word on it.
Yeah, I don't know what you found in the water, but I don't think it's worth getting close over here.
I think if we do we need to cross the bridge again?
Does it feel like we need to cross the bridge, Mr. Dealer?
So crossing the bridge would be the most direct way to get to the shepherd, but you figure you could probably also get there by fording the river,
Oh, no.
or perhaps by going around the pond, or just there was a little fork in the trail a little ways back that you think you could probably figure out a way to make that work. Um, it's all a matter of exactly what risks you're willing to take.
I would really like to get this done and over with, so I, of course, say, yeah, we have to cross the bridge again.
I use my senses and I get the same idea.
Uh-huh.
Let's do it quick and quiet then.
Okay.
Wilthrop says, I suppose we could... Wait, hold on. What was that? What was the voice? I
That's
suppose...
pretty close.
I I suppose no. Doesn't matter. That's the voice now.
It changes in
I
the bayou.
suppose everything changes in the bayou, young man. I suppose that we could just sneak very quietly if we want to avoid death from above. But if any of you have the strength to spare, we could always man, what's the wording that he would use? Where did I put the charge? We could always place a simple dissuasion upon our persons to make ourselves look less tasty. He is suggesting the use of magic. Vance would recognize this terminology from the notebook that he borrowed.
Yeah, Raquel's just looking at him confused right now.
I don't think I'm going to persuade a snapping turtle.
He's talking about the egrets.
Oh, well, not those either.
But, like, I'm not quite sure I understand.
All right. Let me see.
As long as we stay away from the water, the snapping turtle should be fine, right?
Oh, yes.
I don't.
I imagine.
Now I'm worried about the snapping turtle. Like, oh.
Wilthrop. Oh, sorry. I keep interrupting you, Eric.
Oh, no worries. Yeah. I don't think the snapping turtle reacted to the fisherman until he caught something. So it must have been that great act of movement. So as long as we're steady, we should be fine there.
Okay. And
I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's what I remember. So, like Vance, my memory is also flawed.
I'm not quite sure I understand you, Mr. Wilthrop, Mr. Cross.
He says, here in the bayou, magic is all around us. And even without training, you or anyone can harness it. And he explains to you that in game terms, if you're willing to sacrifice a relatively small amount of your willpower, you could cast a spell that makes all of you look like unappealing prey. So that for at least a limited time, things would be significantly less likely to attack you, for the sake of food, anyway. Since Wiltham is an expert in magic, I will tell you straight up, this would be a tier 1 soul magic, which is dissuasion. And it would be relatively easy. So it would only cost one or two willpower, depending on how we want to flavor it, etc.
But at the moment, we can only see the baby ones, right?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah. Well, I think that would be great if we could see the one that was hunting us. My actual accent slipped in a little bit, but
Are we
but
are we sure the babies couldn't be hunters too?
Well, I don't know, but sir, if you want to walk me through this process, I'll give it a go.
All right. He like places his hand on your shoulder, and he coaches you through the process of using magic. And let's see. We can get a little bit artsy fartsy here. For Jebediah, using magic is kind of like it's a lot like growing cabbages, actually. Like once you understand that different kinds of seeds will give you different results, and that as long as you plant them in the right soil, they'll just grow. The moment that you have an idea that this is possible, and you're willing to let go of your skepticism about it even a little bit, you can pretty easily get a hold of the magic of the swamp. And let me see. Oh, since Jebediah has an innate uh, knowledge of what is tasty and what isn't, I'm going to make this an easy spell for you to cast, so it will only cost you 1 of your maximum willpower.
Deal.
Because I think that's fun.
I like that.
So the 4 of you, in just a few moments of Jebediah's concentration, suddenly, like all of the colors.
Willpower.
Yes, willpower, because this is a spell that has to do with the
Soul.
with soul rather than substance.
Did I cut out there?
Yes.
Yeah, you did. All I heard was willpower.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, I'm just planning on making it so that we look like something unappealing or maybe even poisonous with my knowledge.
Oh, that's good. In that case, your colors, the colors of like your outfits, don't necessarily all become dimmer, but they do seem to shift a little bit, as though somebody hit a slider on your color palettes. And any colors that are kind of in the reddish spectrum lend themselves more toward orange, and everything that is in the cooler side of the spectrum kind of lends itself more toward a poisonous blue color. And you all, for just a moment, even smelling your own body odor makes you gag just a tiny bit. And you are all able to cross this bridge relatively safely and quickly, I imagine.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I don't have any objections.
All right. Because magic is a relatively large sacrifice, that it just allows you to completely avoid the danger of this situation. So there's that. That means that y'all are able to relatively quickly now make it to the shepherd. Let me find a. Yeah, let's go there. Change of scene.
Change of scene.
You follow this trail just a little ways, and you soon find yourselves on yet another boardwalk, though this one is built with planks that are surely made from the huge trees, like those egret creatures nest in. Each plank is wider than one of you is tall, and longer than maybe 2 of you, set end to end. A giant boardwalk for giants, perhaps. And you follow that for perhaps a quarter of a mile before it rounds a bend, and you see a handful of large huts. These huts aren't built to like giant specifications, but they are just a bit taller than a human building of the same make, perhaps to account for a family of people who are all in the 7 to 8 foot high range. And you see a small herd of goats grazing, just kind of scattered throughout this village. I guess village works. And actually standing at the end of the boardwalk, you see a familiar silhouette wearing a familiar, unsettling one-eyed mask. And they are waving to you.
Yeah. Once we see him, Raquel stops. It's like, okay, there you go, Wilthrop.
I'm waving back, and I say, oh, we're staying here?
No, we're dropping Wilthrop off before we go pick up some of those plants. Oh yeah, we're staying. Yeah, I'm not getting closer. Last time we got close, he stabbed me.
Well, I suppose if we'll be back to come get you. Maybe we'll say hi then.
Yeah. Wilthrop, are you sure your charms and everything will keep you safe?
Oh, I'm fairly sure. These should work just fine. Besides, I have an agreement with that one. And he turns and he says, Vance, if you please, I'd like my notebook back just long enough for me to finish this work.
Vance reaches into his vest and pulls it out and says, absolutely.
He takes it in his formerly withered hand and gives you all a pleasant nod and strides with much more energy than he did back in Scarstone directly toward the giant. He reaches the giant. They exchange a handshake, and with a gesture, he is welcomed into the nearest of the large huts, and they go in, and the door closes.
All right, which way to get out of here?
The fastest way.
I pull out the compass I got from the army, and I turn around the exact same way we came, even like kind of ignoring the compass until we kind of get out of sight of this thing. Like I keep looking at the compass and like, oh, because I think it'd be really funny if the compass is pointing to go through the giant town to get to where we need to go. Like theoretically, because again, it could have moved anyways, but I'm like, oh, I want to walk away first.
That is a very fun idea. I think I will have that depend on your next trailblazing check, though.
Okay. And let's see. Trailblaze and 13 plus 3, 16.
16 is still in the partial success range, I believe. Yep. Oh, interesting. That's a partial success. I think it is pointing through the village, but you also notice that there is, there is room that you could probably go around the village if you wanted. Like there is room and solid footing available.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm definitely not going through the village for you guys. I'm taking you on this somewhat less direct route. So unless you guys ask me questions, that's what we're doing.
Let's go. Vance is actively avoiding it as well.
Okay. Oh. What a bunch of weirdos. Being all 8 foot tall.
Marking people with blood.
Yeah.
What could that be about? What's the deal with people marking other people with blood?
I don't know.
Let's see. We have not established a lot of knowledge about this plant that you're looking for, right?
No, we have
Um,
not.
I have kind of made some comments off recording about how it is probably the dream lilies, right? That does feel thematically interesting. Like it's an interesting intersection with previously established story beats, right?
Yes.
Um, I think that as part of the mission that you were given, they told you like what they knew about where you could find this stuff, and I would now like to collaborate with all of you on some hints for how. Let me see. I'm restarting my sentence. I'd like to collaborate with the three of you to come up with some of the hints that you were given that can help you figure out where you need to look. I will start. I think that there is at least a rumor that these dream lilies grow best where it is dark and they only they should only get 1 or 2 hours of sunlight at a time.
Okay. Get a couple. So, did when we first met the people who were the weird people who disappeared in the middle of the night, did they just had it with them, right? It wasn't like they didn't harvest it in front of us or anything, correct?
Right, they just had some.
And they offered it to me, and it was a good time.
And they may have given you some relatively cryptic hints about where it grows. That is true.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to remember what they said.
I think wherever it grows smells like death. Whether it's because there's an actual like maybe it's around what is it called, quicksand pits or something, I don't know, something around it makes it smell like death, whether there's actual death there or just another symbiotic plant nearby. So there tends to be a lot of scavenging beasts nearby as a sign.
I like that a lot.
All I can think is they say the majority of the plant is submerged, but it has a very vibrant yet like a vibrant color to it, but the petals don't always look the same. Like we heard conflicting petal theories.
Okay.
But the one thing that people were agreeing on was basically that it was a majority of the plant was submerged.
And that the colors are bright, at least.
Yes.
Even if they don't agree on what color it is.
Yes.
So maybe there's even like multiple types of it and people are all just calling it one thing.
And then Cameron, I'm not sure if your microphone is working. I can see that you
I believe it is working. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure I was ready to say what I was thinking, but
Gotcha.
I do know that when it is burning, it has an odd coloration to the actual smoke.
Okay.
But that was based on my own eyes.
And everybody else who we talked to.
Hmm. Interesting. Do we have any? Is the odd coloration another subjective thing, or is it something that everybody says or agrees? Yeah, that color is weird.
Now, you might have to ask them because I was smoking it in front of them, but it could also just be that the smoke is affected, or like that's one of the first signs or one of the first things of you going into the high is that the smoke starts to look different.
Oh, that's interesting. I do kind of like that. But that gives us, honestly, with all this information, that tells me exactly what I need to figure out what kind of area this is going to grow in. Sorry, Eric.
I don't know, something went off. I'm trying to figure out what happened.
Okay. Um, ooh, you know what I should do? Oh, I can do that later. Anyway, so the three of you make it around the village. I won't make you roll more for that, I don't think.
While we're walking on this next stretch, am
Uh-huh.
I able to roll healing on myself?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Plus
In
5
fact,
first aid and knowledge medicine.
yeah. In fact, maybe as soon as y'all are out of sight of the village, you stop for a quick break and a meal.
Can I use my experimental foraging to see if I can find anything that might assist in his first aid?
Absolutely. Um, give me that roll really quick.
Yeah, one sec.
I guess I'll also ask, did you find any poisonous stuff yet?
Oh, oh yeah, you were looking for poisonous stuff earlier.
I
Yeah.
was.
But first, what was your?
I rolled a third. Well, it was 11 plus my 2 experimental foraging, so 13.
A 13. That lands you in the partial success category. Okay. So, no, I'm not going to do the thing that I just thought of because that would just be way too well.
Did you think of the Neosporin plant too?
No, actually.
Because
I was thinking that earlier you were able to find a plant whose roots your would like you were able to determine with some really quick tests that would not subject you to much discomfort that its roots would cause pretty severe belly aches and also act as a mild paralytic to the muscles of the abdomen, so it would be really difficult to pass um, going either direction. And unfortunately, this herbal remedy that you found looks very similar to that plant. And you're not sure once you pick that remedy whether you'll be able to tell the difference between it or the stomachache plant.
Well, I think that I was planning on just basically giving it directly to him because he's like, "Oh man, I need to do something about these injuries," and I was like, "Oh, maybe I can find something that would help with that."
Gotcha.
So if
So
I just give him enough to help right now, but don't keep any because I'm worried it'll get mixed up, then that would probably be what I'd be thinking.
okay, yep. You have solved my riddle.
So sorry that it was, but that was my only plan. So
No, like that's perfect and honestly delightful on its own. What was your role?
I was waiting to hear if there was a bonus to add.
Oh, right. Let me see. You got it was a 13
yeah, so it was a partial success on finding something to help.
partial success to
So
find something
basically a one
helpful.
use, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like one use. Um, somebody roll me. No, I can just roll. I think I'll roll a d3 here. So that is, it will give you a +1.
26.
Holy fuck!
That's a
Man,
lot
I'm
of
really
healing.
glad that +1 was in there because otherwise, I'm not sure you would have had any assistance at all.
Right.
Gosh.
That's
Well, that is a rousing success. Where's the rules on rolling healing?
Page 58 or 73 in the PDF.
it's still weird that it's such a disparity on that.
Right. I don't know. I think it's because they have so much like art in the like in the
Yeah.
credits or not credits.
And the art is gorgeous, but
mhm.
so let me see.
Table of contents. So
on
if I have a direct skill, I get on a full success, I get +2 rousing success, +2 health, 1 willpower. My willpower is full at the moment.
okay, so you can get +2 health, and also what's a different kind of but kind of similar positive twist that we can add here?
He could get a
May
benefit to his next roll, whatever the next one is.
um
We could say that my drug has a slight, what
le-
is it?
it,
Like it's a slight stimulant as
it's a
well.
mild stimulant, yeah, like it's like rubbing cocaine in your wound. Um, it'll help stop the bleeding and also make you feel kind of good for a while. So yeah, we'll give you a just a +1
forward.
to your next roll.
That
Yeah.
rousing success just pushed my +1.
Yeah. Hey, it works, right? Meanwhile, you all have a pretty reasonable time. Jeb probably cooks a great meal. If you want to roll for how great your meal is, you may.
I like that idea, but also I'm not sure I like that idea.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you probably get like a +5 to this roll because you have +3 cooking, and then whether you apply your gastronomy or your experimental foraging, that's another +2.
Yeah, we're gonna try an experimental meal here, guys. So it's gonna be a
So,
+5 for cooking with my experimental foraging.
so it is
Ooh.
impossible for you to roll lower than a 7. Um,
So it
which
might
means
just be bad.
an
Uh,
8,
11.
or yeah, an 11, sorry. 11, oh shoot.
Again, this is experimental, guys.
he was trying
Just
to roll
barely a
low.
failure. Um, um,
I got them mixed up in the end after all. I don't know how this happened.
oh no. Um, no, the meal is just it's unsatisfying, I think is a good word for it. Um, it just
It's like just eating a tub full of yogurt.
right, like
No carbs or
like
anything.
like
Just
technically it has nutritional value and the first few bites are really good, but
I
uh
kind of made it like a stew. And
like
so it was really good, but the longer it sat, the more that the flavor profile, instead of being individual, turned into just one bland soup taste, no matter what the bite was.
or a relatively bland soup taste, so that like by the time you get the third bite and there's just no variety in it anymore, it's just kind of sad.
I'm really sorry. I was really expecting those earthy roots I picked up from that side of the pond to be a lot better with this profile, but it just brought the whole thing down to tasting kind of like dirt.
Oh, that's a good you know how You know how catfish kind of tastes like fish and kind of tastes like mud? And it kind of depends on the exact bite you take, which one it tastes more strongly of.
Yes.
This stew mostly just tastes like the mud half of catfish.
Are you?
I really thought this would be better.
Did you say there was roots in here? Like, did you clean them first?
I did. I cleaned them real well. I was peeling them while we were sitting over there. I gestured to a giant pile of root peels.
Pile of root peels is my favorite band.
I get it. Me too.
So, I guess with that, y'all pack up your sad little meal and head out again. Gosh, that was
That was a roller coaster of rolls.
a roller coaster.
At least it was just the cooking roll that was sad.
Right.
Absolutely. Where's my cheat sheet? Bum-ba-dum-ba-dum. Okay. I would now like someone to make one more roll that has to do with navigating or traveling quickly.
Oh, it's my time to shine. Trailblaze, powers unite.
Your time to shine indeed.
Oh boy.
That's a 12.
A 12? That's just barely in the partial success range, I believe.
Yes.
Phew.
Yes.
You gotta start using fencing or dancing or whatever it was as
I need to-
tangential again.
I need to, yeah. I also need to use my compass more, apparently.
So you were able to get a good bead on which direction you need to go. And let's see, how do I want to work this out? See, one thing that this game does not have, that I increasingly believe every game should have, is a mechanic for luck checks. Could everybody really quickly roll for me? We'll do 3DF, please. 3 fudge dice.
I got a -1.
Oh no. Oh yeah. Okay, I got a 0.
Oh.
Oh no.
Man.
Oh no. Jebediah,
I don't want to talk about it.
could you briefly narrate for me how you get separated from the group?
It's actually really simple.
Uh-huh.
There I was, picking some damn carrots, and they're gone.
Uh-huh. Oh, and they're
So,
just normal carrots too, huh?
Normal. Yeah, I just found them. I thought, you know what? Let's just grab some of those. Maybe that'll spice up my soup next time, because last time it was shit.
Or you could at least snack on them when you inevitably get hungry after that bad meal.
Something. I mean, my goodness, even a roasted carrot over a fire was better than that.
Uh-huh.
So I go, I'm picking them up, I'm getting everything I need to get. I turn around and look up, and I swear they were right there, but they are not.
Uh-huh.
Oh, hell. Where the did they go?
Oh, that's fun.
Because
Oh, go ahead.
just because last time we were traveling with Jebediah, he was kind of like dozed out, drugged up. Like we didn't plan on like looking for him or like he was just following
I
us,
was
you
following
know.
around
We did-
blindly before. Now
we
here
didn't
I
have
am.
to keep track of
foraging.
him last time.
So like literally
Oh,
get
that's
like
so good.
up ahead and just turn around to like talk to him, and it's like, so Jebediah, like, where the crap are you?
Uh-huh. And if y'all stand and listen for a second, there is no sign.
I'm debating whether I should be loud or not, but I also don't know if I should be loud or not.
Right?
I'm pretty sure that we were heading a direction.
Vance looks around the forest and pulls a cigarette up to his mouth. And I've been thinking. I think maybe not like part of like the Bayou takes part of his like terrible ash thing is he no longer has to use matches to light cigarettes. They just light when he starts smoking them.
Okay, that's fun.
And so he just pulls it up and like starts taking a drag. He goes,
Do you go to like light it and it's already lit by the time like your
Yeah.
your lighter's up there? Nice.
Yeah. So, And he just takes a puff and it's like, well, we'll have to find him, I guess.
Eric, I have a hard question for you.
Yes.
Do you think that this is close enough to home to prey on Vance's aversion to isolation?
I was thinking about that. I don't think so, because his isolation is for himself.
Okay.
Which was why I was like, good. I was thinking, good thing I didn't get the low roll on that, because he's scared of being alone,
Yeah.
not of
And,
the
like, you still have Raquel, and she's good at finding the way. Like, she, as far as you can tell, she has never led any of you astray.
Nope. Well.
All right.
I guess.
I think that my best plan is to not move for at least a minute.
Okay.
Because they'll realize I'm not there, and I know that Raquel knows how to like navigate, and I don't really. So I'm gonna chill for a minute, just a little bit, and then I might panic.
I guess let's start going back the way we came.
Yes. Yeah. So, start going backwards and looking for signs of foraging.
Yep, someone took a plant there.
It's like that.
Oh, that's fun.
None of these fresh peaches has been disturbed. He definitely wasn't with us here.
Okay, let me. I do need a second to think. Do we want to take a quick bio break while I do that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be back here in just a few minutes.
Okay, I will pause.
And we are back from our break. Thank you. That will all be edited out anyway. So, before we left for our break, Jeb had been separated from the group, and we were trying to figure out what to do about the results of that. So, really quickly, first I want to cut to Jeb's point of view, and for that, let's go somewhere a little bit darker, because that seems fun thematically, at least. Jeb, you do realize that the canopy of the trees above is blocking out a lot of the sunlight. It seems almost like twilight here. And you can hear it sounds much more like night as well. The chirping of insects and the rustling of small creatures in the undergrowth definitely seems closer to nighttime than daytime sounds.
Yeah, Jeb isn't feeling super amazing at this point. He's not much of a wayfinder. So right now, the whole plan is to be found hopefully soon.
All right. Well, perhaps fortunately for you, you are pretty sure that you see the light of some lanterns, um, not too far away from here, and
Shit.
the sound of voices that you don't think they're your friends, but they do sound vaguely familiar.
Now, when we say vaguely familiar,
I don't think you can place where you've heard them before.
dang it. Well, you know what? I better just go talk to those people.
All right. And then we're going to cut back over to Raquel and Vance.
Oh,
How
We
are you feeling? How are you planning on finding your friend again?
so I'm backtracking the best we can, looking for anything that I chopped away with the machete or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and looking for any trails off the path. But I look to Vance, or Raquel looks to Vance and it's like, you don't think he was grabbed by like a monster, right? Like we would
I
have heard
assume he
that.
would have made a bit more of a noise, yeah.
Okay, okay.
You don't think he found some of that dream lily and went ahead and smoked it himself?
I think I don't think he would be able to light it nearly as well without your lighter. Like, he has his like campfire stuff, but I guess if he was really dedicated, he could have done it.
Now, really quick, Paxton, can I jump in again?
Absolutely.
I would like to slightly change my plan. I don't really want to go from where I'm at, but I do want to get those people's attention. Is there a branch or anything else near me that
Um,
I could use to hit my frying pan?
ooh, you're gonna make some noise, huh?
Yeah, it's dangerous, but I figure that staying in this place and being where they might find me is still better than not doing that. But their voices over there sound familiar too. Hopefully, this works out in both ways. But if it doesn't, then I might just not be alive for much longer.
Um, I will absolutely let you bang a stick against a pan.
And we can cut from there, but I think that's probably what I would do more than running to them.
Awesome, cool. In that case, Vance and Raquel, um, I would like one or both of you to make skill checks having to do with searching or finding or hearing or uh, bushcraft, I guess, kind of things.
Okay. Um. So I'm thinking if I do it, it'd be a trailblazing slash misdirection, trying to determine if it's like a something luring us or if it's actually him.
Right.
If I can hear it
Okay.
at all.
Right. Yeah, I will okay that roll.
Okay.
Vance, would you like to also make a roll of some kind, or are you gonna leave it to Raquel?
I got a 20. If that
20 is pretty good.
I was planning on just leaving it to Raquel.
Okay. I'm cool with that. So a 20 is a full success. You succeed completely and entirely.
nice.
And pretty soon you hear somebody banging on some pots, and you follow that noise, and you see your friend, your compatriot, Jeb.
Oh,
Um,
goodness. I cut cut a vine away and like walk through and like in that like whispery like scolding tone like Jeb over here.
Oh hell, I'm so glad to see you guys. Real quick, there's someone over that way, and I point towards where I see the lantern lights.
and you don't see any.
Oh, Oh, shit. Never mind.
What? Were you going to them or something? Like, why'd you leave us?
No, I gestured down to some roots. No, I was getting some carrots.
Um,
You guys just left.
Jeb, you are I think you're a little bit worried about whatever the lantern situation was.
I think
And
I'm a little worried
I'd
too.
like you to make a willpower check.
That's 2d8s, right?
Yes, that is 2d8s. You're
Shooting
trying to
low.
roll below 9.
Well, I sure didn't.
Oh.
All right. Your willpower is down to 8.
I swear that and they sounded familiar. They were just over there. I'm pretty sure that I knew them. I thought.
Uh,
I don't know what happened.
I don't even see lanterns. Like, did you scare
Now
them away or?
I have been banging this for a little bit. Maybe they left, but they were there, and I thought they might come over here because I thought maybe you guys would hear me, and maybe they would too. I didn't want to run away because I knew you'd find me, and I just started blabbing, just that same kind of a thing continuously.
Oh boy.
As as Jebediah keeps going on, Vance starts looking around. Does this place match the kind of place that we're looking for?
Oh, what an interesting question.
It's
does
pretty dark, but
it does seem pretty dark. How would you like to make me a skill check about it? We have discussed, and you have used your surgery skill before to be about like sharp senses and paying attention. I might let you argue for your use of stories here because that is ultimately where your information about these things comes from.
yeah, if I could roll stories with surgery tangential.
Sure. Yeah,
See, stories with
that's a +2.
yes. 15.
15, I think, is in the partial success rate.
Partial. Yep.
Nice.
So success with a little bit of a twist.
Yep. This area, it certainly does seem dark, and like most areas, would not get more than an hour or two total of light per day. There is also plenty of standing water around here. You don't particularly smell death on the wind, but well, actually, now that you think about it, oh geez, I was going to think about this earlier, and instead I thought about something else. um, there is a smell here that Vance, in particular, associates with death.
Oh my gosh, it smells like sanitation supplies. Ugh.
I was trying to think, what's the fluid they use? The embalming fluid.
Formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde.
That is actually exactly what I was thinking of. You do smell the kind of rubbery chemical astringent odor of formaldehyde on the sluggish breeze that wafts through here.
Vance starts waving at Jeb and Raquel. I don't think they're going back and forth. I think Jeb might still be just rambling on.
And I've been here for minutes, I tell you. And by that time, I start banging.
And he just starts waving. He says, I think we're in the right place. And he motions to the standing water. He's like, we might need to be a bit quieter.
Well, it might be a little late for that.
Vance nods.
Do you guys see any bright flowers? Like, I don't really smell anything. There's like that weird smell, but
I could do a foraging check. It's experimental foraging, but that might fit.
I think because the smell came to him after a moment, it wasn't like an immediate thing. Vance does like pull the shotgun out and like have it ready now, and just is like looking around, keeping an eye out.
I'll say keep me covered, and I can roll while I look for a plant in the water.
It would not have changed that result, but that would have been a 16 because of the +1 from the stem plant earlier.
Right.
Just to get that +1 forward out of the way.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I assume that I can use my experimental foraging for this purpose. Is that good?
Yes, you can go ahead and roll experimental foraging for this.
I don't think anything else would add into it since I'm specifically looking for an experimental plant here. But
Yeah.
well, all right, I'm dead.
Oh, you got
no.
trouble, my friends.
well,
Oh, we got
I'm just glad that Vance is keeping me covered.
trouble.
So that's 6. It's not a compounded failure.
It is a 6. That is true.
We're good
Oh.
there.
Thank you for reminding me to add that +2. I was just about to have you step in quicksand or something.
I was about to step into a snapping turtle's mouth.
Just a normal snapping turtle, mind you, but like that still would be injurious.
Oh no.
Not even an alligator snapping turtle, just a little one.
Yeah, it just like bites off your big toe and you lose your ability to balance forever.
Great. Now I'm going to have to get some star power in it or something.
So your foot to the devil.
Anyway, it's just a failure. You fail at your task and weather the consequences, but suffer no compounding ramifications. You are unable to see any brightly colored plants around here. But let's see, we don't want to leave the story. Sorry, I've been trying to figure out an aspect of this thing for a little bit.
I have 2 theories. Or I have one real theory for like how it works.
Okay, hit me.
So Jeb mentioned earlier that the smoke changes color.
Uh-huh.
What if you have to be looking through smoke to see the vibrant colors of the
That
flower?
is a very fun idea and also very convenient since we have a little smoker man with us.
See, and like my thought is like right now he's not looking for the flowers though. So
Uh-huh.
like that gives us we don't know that yet, but it gives us a possibility of somebody accidentally looking through the smoke, or whenever Vance gives that one of those big horrendous coughs, if I end up doing that. Which like I think I talked about it a little bit in downtime. He hasn't been coughing in the Bayou because I think it's like one of those like the Bayou takes and the Bayou gives kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
But so like he's not looking for the flowers, he's looking around. So while he might be looking through the smoke, he's not seeing the flowers even if they're there.
Absolutely. So that's
I've been wondering about those people who gave it to us in the first place.
Uh-huh.
And been wondering about how these plants might be doing additional seeding, and if maybe smoking it actually helps spread it somehow. And so it's like putting out hallucinogens of people giving it to people or something.
That is kind of fun and also
it's like a
mildly
sentient
scary.
plant.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see some things, I think. But I think this means that you lose like a fair amount of daylight looking for it the way that you are right now.
Yeah, I don't think there's any of those here.
Yep.
I still don't
Um,
even think it smells like death.
It's the chemical you're smelling. It's formaldehyde. It's what they use to embalm corpses. Maybe that's what they meant.
Are you saying you like they just pump Bayou water into dead thing? Well, the whole Bayou doesn't smell like this though.
This might be one form of the death that they smell.
Like what?
Well, they'd have to be as familiar with the embalming as you. They might just be thinking decaying things too.
Yeah, we
Or
might
they
not.
may have been to a lot of funerals.
I feel like a lot of funerals around here might not have a body to have formaldehyde on.
Well, everybody who ended up in Scarstone usually, has a bit of a tragic life before getting there.
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there. I can't find any flowers. I'm not saying that this isn't the right smell, but maybe it's not.
Let's maybe circle the water a little bit. What was it that we heard? It was deep in the water. Let's be careful, but maybe forward in a bit as well. Wade in, not forward. Wade in a bit.
I think that not too long after this conversation, the three of you hear kind of labored breathing, maybe a strained kind of groan, and then just a long sigh.
Was that you, Jebediah? Vance?
No, that ain't me.
What was it?
I point with my newly acquired stick in the general direction I heard the sigh.
Newly acquired stick.
You can write that on your character sheet if you'd like.
I think I just might. It's a nice stick.
It's a good pan banging stick.
Exactly. And what else would you use a stick for except for to bang pans?
And to point directions.
You're right.
Yeah,
Point
but
in
that's the
direction.
only purposes.
Okay. Do we see anything when we point in the general direction? We got to roll for that.
Either roll for it or just walk closer.
I'm gonna walk closer with my machete out.
Now I want to give myself a skill with sticks.
I mean, you can.
We might have to. We'll see.
We'll
see.
call it the stick savant.
Um,
It's a tier 3.
Yeah,
and
can
it.
I roll surgery, change until to look?
yeah, for sure.
Okay. Sorry, I cut you off, Grayson.
Nah, I'm just joking about the stick savant skill. Tier 3, anything that involves sticks, you can roll.
15? 14. Because you added to +1.
Yes.
That's still a partial success. You think you see someone. They're like leaning up against a tree or something. In the direction that Jeb was pointing. And I believe Raquel was walking toward that direction.
Yeah,
right?
I'm walking that way with my machete out.
All
I
right.
think Vance whispers, "Just careful. I think I see someone." And he has a hard time pointing the gun even at a humanoid figure, but he's got it aimed in that general direction just in case.
All right. You get up closer to there, and the scene you see is maybe not the most surreal thing that you have encountered here in the swamp. Just a few days ago, you were chatting politely with horses as you walked past.
And an ant-man.
But you do, or yes, and large piles of ants with a hat.
Cameron still needs to get his question from friend.
That's true. We need to work that out. Maybe when we're done with this recording.
I think that maybe my question was, I asked what food I needed to look for and was given an answer that was vague because I don't know where it is or what it looks like. I was given a name and that's it.
Oh, that's interesting. Yes, let's revisit that after this recording, I think.
Deal.
So you walk into this area to see a rather surreal sight. There are a handful of like uprooted trees, I guess. Either that or just really big sticks or logs or whatever that are all kind of like they're kind of all leaning against each other at exactly one point. Like the little pyramid of sticks you might make when you start building a fire.
Okay. So more fire and less shelter.
Yes.
Okay.
Just huge. Like I said, they look like more like uprooted trees, and they are supporting, or on top of these trees, kind of. There is a huge boulder, at least the size of the boarding house that you are all staying in. And
on top of what?
on top of the trees.
Okay.
Yes. And the trees are all resting upon the shoulders of an extremely long, tall, humanoid-ish figure. Maybe not humanoid, maybe more like what happens if you cross a human with like a stick bug.
Ugh.
Go ahead.
Is this the thing that Vance saw?
Yes.
Okay.
They have a very human-looking face, but most everything else about them is long and segmented, and it looks somewhat insectile and somewhat vegetable.
Oh. Hey.
And this person has their feet braced in the mud and is holding up this huge rock and like preventing it from crashing into the still waters of the pond directly beneath it. And there in that pond you see it's like got a glassy surface. It is like you could use it as a mirror. And floating atop the surface, the only things to disturb it are big old like lotus leaves, each of which is home to one or two brightly colored but also eclectically colored flowers.
Okay, so insect vegetable man. Is he like
What do you see?
human sized, or is he like a giant holding up this thing?
He is like a giant. He's like 14 feet tall,
Okay.
maybe.
And he's not the trees.
But he's also about as wide around as you are, Grayson.
Okay. This dude's skinny.
Yeah.
Hello?
This figure cranes his neck and to look down at you all and grunts, "Oh, hello. Are you here looking for these delicious flowers?" That's usually what your kind are looking for around here. Ugh.
I think.
Am I close enough to hear this voice?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Cool, just making sure.
Um. Yeah, we're looking for these flowers. Are you? Why are you holding that rock above your head?
Oh, it's no big deal. Just something that I agreed to do a little while ago. I made a promise to someone that I would not allow that rock to touch this water. Something about like the lichen that grows on the rock. It's some kind of a like an endangered fungus or something, and if it touches this water, it will die.
Could you take the rock somewhere else?
Um,
Like,
I I I would really love to do that, but this is um yeah, I'd love to do that, but it is literally all I can do to hold it up. Um, though maybe I could do something more about it if someone were to help out with it somehow. I think there's a log over there that would be great for taking my current position to shore up what's going on here, keep it stable long enough for me to figure something out.
All right, I gotta ask, what are you?
Um, he kind of cocks his head to the side and looks all the way down at the three of you, and he says, "I am me. I'm not sure how to answer your question, little man. What are you?"
Well, they call us humans.
Ah, humans.
That's the name that we came up with, that we call ourselves. I don't know if you have a different name for us.
Um. Oh, that's interesting. Um.
Sorry if I made you look things up. That wasn't exactly my point.
No worries. Um.
he calls us Myrmidon.
Um. Oh, it doesn't matter that much. I'll just use the word that comes to my mind. He says, "Oh, once me and my siblings, we called ourselves Titans because we were so much bigger than all of you little people."
Oh well, I suppose that's fair. Now, if you weren't holding up a rock, what kinds of things do you like to do?
um, I don't know, normal people things. I like to eat and sleep and make friends.
Okay, okay, now that's good. Do you eat people?
Oh goodness.
I just need to get it out there right now because I don't want to have to worry about it. I'm not going to help you get that rock up there if you're going to just eat me right after.
Oh,
If I may butt in, perhaps we should get our job done first and then we can help him. Because if the log fails and falls on all the plants,
oh yeah.
there goes all the samples that we need.
Um, Mr. Titan, are you
No
okay?
offense. He looks up. Sorry.
No, yeah. Raquel starts to kind of wade into the water. It's like, are you okay if I
Oh,
get these flowers out of the way real quick?
the moment you take a step toward the water, he says, "Oh, wait! Don't,
Oh, okay.
don't do that. Touching this water is death. Just so you know, it's not only poisonous to endangered fungi; it is also dangerous to most living things."
Um,
I look at his legs. Where are they?
They are like shin deep in the mud right next to the pond.
Interesting.
How, Mr. Titan, how do people like us get these flowers then?
Well, there's a rather raggedy group of y'all who come by once every, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. They bring like really long sticks with knives at the end of them, I think. Um, and they just like flail around with those for a little while. One time, one of them made a deal with me, and uh, he like he steadied a log and used that to kind of help hold up the rock long enough for me to like stretch out a little bit, and I picked a few for him with my, you know, much longer arms than your bodies are.
Uh, I. So can you touch the water, or do you just pluck the
No,
flowers?
I'm just a lot longer than you are, so I can reach over the water and get it.
But so your legs are kind of in the mud, and isn't that mud made with the same water, or does it lose poison when it's in mixed with dirt?
Ah, hell, girl. I don't know how any of this works. All I know is that any living thing touches this water except for them lilies, and kaput. It just sinks straight to the bottom, never comes back out. Spiders, flies, gators, humans. Even saw some of those. I don't know what to call them. Uh, Giant mask people. One of them took a nasty tumble in there, raised the whole water level by like an inch and a half. I had to really dance away that time.
All right,
I
now there, Mr. Titan. Uh, how long have you been here?
Uh, Time doesn't mean a whole lot to me and my siblings. Um, I don't know. I can't. I hardly ever see the sun, so
Yeah,
uh,
to look around. Yeah, that's a fair point.
I'm pretty sure it's been at least. He like stops and stares into the middle distance for like a solid minute, and then says, 25, 30 times we've had winter around here that I can remember while I was standing here. At least I think it was winter. It got a little colder for several weeks.
That's not.
I I don't think Vance trusts anything they say. Like,
Uh-huh.
but I don't like.
I,
I don't think there's like he has like an insight roll because I don't think that's what bedside manner does.
Oh, but you
But
got
I,
could
a
I
stories
think
roll.
Jeb trusts everything he says.
yeah, I was gonna say, could I roll stories to either maybe to get, I don't know, either to check out his story about like the poison water or like just the general, like, have I ever heard anything about a figure like this before?
Yeah, like what's the magical vibe going on here?
Yeah.
Sure, you can roll stories for me.
Let me see. I don't think anything else is gonna help. Oof, 8.
Oh,
I've not heard of this being.
I yeah, I don't think you know any well, hold on. There is one the word titan kind of like twigs something in your memory. But you're pretty sure it doesn't uh have anything to do with this guy. Um
Yeah,
Something to research.
you're thinking of
later.
like a purple guy with a really fat chin, likes to wear a glove.
No, you're thinking of someone who a, some like primordial god being who once defied the king of the gods, his nephew, by teaching humans how to build fires. Even though the king of the gods was angry with humans and wanted them all to die. And for his disobedience, this titan was chained to a rock, and his liver was eaten by you can't remember if it was like buzzards or eagles, but like every day his liver got eaten, and then every day it grew back because he was a god, you know. And he was just chained to that rock. You think forever. It was a one hell of a story. You weren't sure really what the moral of it was.
Don't give humans stuff.
Yeah, don't give people stuff? Question mark.
I think just based on that story alone, he lights a match and makes a show of lighting a cigarette in front of this guy while they're sitting there talking about what to do.
Hmm. Oh, that's how does this guy react to that? Um,
Like he's being a little like he's making a show of like the action of like pulling the book out, striking the match, but not like intensely staring at him the whole time, just like
you're
looking at his
acting like
friends.
it's a thinking kind of a tick almost.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I mean at this point he's still getting used to them being automatically lit.
Yeah. I think that he says, "Amazing what you folks have done with my little brother's gift. Huh. Amazing. Maybe you could light a little fire like that a little closer to here and at least warm up my bones while you think."
Uh,
Oh man. Okay. So Jebediah walks over to the log that our friend had talked about and said, "Now you think this'll help it to stay up for a little bit?"
And says, "Oh, I've been eyeing that log for the last I can't tell if it's been 3 weeks or 2 years, but it's been a while.
And
And
you're telling me
from
that
what I
none
can
of the sorry, go on.
and from what I can tell from eyeing that log for so long, is it is just long enough that you can like you if you can prop it up and hold it steady, it will hold that rock up at least long enough for me to, do a little stretch, get a little more comfortable, help you out with your thing, and then, we'll figure it out from there."
Okay. So I'm Jeb is gonna say, "All right, guys, I think this is how we're getting those flowers." And I pat the log.
how are you gonna move that log? It's
Oh, there's three of us. There's three of us. We can get it up there.
oh, okay.
I appreciate your confidence, but I have not been one of body since the fight with those bird creatures a while back.
Hmm. How big is this log?
um I mean, it's like probably, sorry, I'm thinking about angles now and I don't need to think about it this much. It's probably like 10, 11 feet long, and um I don't know, maybe a foot around, or not around, but like in diameter. Like it's not a huge log, but it's a medium-sized, pretty sturdy one.
Oh, I have an idea. Vance walks up to the log and looks at the figure and says, "You said the other people that came here used long poles to get the flowers."
Yeah, they had some kind of a. Once he like shifts his weight a little bit. Okay, yeah, okay, that's better. Yeah, they had some kind of a like a pruning hook kind of a thing that they had rigged up. It wasn't perfect, but seemed to do the trick for getting flowers.
He walks up to the log and, Raquel, can I see the machete, please?
Uh, yeah, passes it.
He places the blade and he says, "I think this will work." And I'm gonna use transfiguration to turn it into like the log. I'm gonna turn it and the machete into a long scythe.
Okay.
Ooh.
I really dig that. Let me see. It's the least taxing substance, does not change the form of matter, only its shape.
Like warping a falling tree.
Yeah, warping a fallen tree into a bridge or bending the stones in a wall to create an entryway. Um, yes. So, how easy is this? You have previously used.
I've used both tiers of magic and or I've used both types of magic, and
Right.
I think
Was your fire spell a transfiguration or a destruction?
it was destruction.
Right. Um. So,
And my soul was dissuasion,
yeah.
which at the time was transfiguration. But
But you've also read the book, or at least large portions of the notebook.
yes, I've read the notebook.
Um, the Notebook, isn't that a girl movie? Anyway.
No?
No, not really. It's just a sad one. Um, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how difficult this should be.
Yes, how many more health do I lose?
Because on the one hand,
Kill him. Strike
even
him
a
down.
small sacrifice is significant.
Because like
Go ahead.
yeah, my you said it was like 10 foot long, so I'm probably taking like, maybe a 2 diameter pole, 10 to 15 foot long, and just the machete blade becomes the pruning shears on the end. Like not even shears, just like a blade on the end that can be used to cut and pull.
Gotcha. Okay, actually, I'm gonna leave this for y'all to decide because you're still going to need to use this tool to gather the samples that they asked for. And they ideally do want samples from the whole plant, right? Because that's part of the purpose of, doing this kind of research. So, for an easy, if you want the magic to be an easy spell, and only cost you 1 health, then this tool will make it possible to do the this harvesting. If you want it to be tier 2 difficulty, then this tool will also give you a +2 on your rolls to do the harvesting. At a +3, it'll be like a ridiculous, like a +5 or something to your rolls. But, I kind of doubt that you'll go that high.
I mean, I think I'm going to leave this up to Vance. You've got your options now.
Yeah.
But it's your life that's on the line, not mine.
Yeah, I think I will do the tier 2 option.
Okay, that'll bring you to 3 out of...
Or 4 out of 4.
Or 4 out of 4, you're right.
Yeah, 4 out of 4. Back to what I was at.
Oh boy. Fun.
Spawn in the sun.
All right.
And then I pick up this long pole arm of a tool and hand it to Jebediah. It's like, you think you can do some foraging with this?
Well, I suppose I can try.
I look over at
So
Raquel.
I guess I'm
and-
rolling.
I look over to Raquel and say, "We'll have to get you a new machete. Sorry."
Yeah, probably.
I'm kind of imagining it now, like almost having like a part of it that's a little bit more like there's almost two sticks that are attached with almost like a handle on one that can squeeze together, and it just like has the like a stick on one end, and then the machete just comes down and chops into the stick to make it so I can cut things easier.
Oh.
I think it's definitely closer to that with a tier 2.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
like
I'm just
before,
like-
I just would have thought of it like the blade on the end trying to swipe it off, but now I
Yeah.
feel like there's a little support.
Yeah, now it's like,
Extendo loppers.
yeah, absolutely.
Did
All right.
this transfiguration take the entire log, or did it just like pull out a shaft of?
I think it only pulled out as much matter as it needed for
Okay.
that. The moment you make that tool, and the this Titan, this guy, just goes, "Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess you could also do that. Sure. Don't worry, I'll hold everything steady up here. Don't mind me."
Why?
Go for a beer right now? Jeez.
Raquel tests the weight of the log to see if she could even like help pick it up while he's getting ready to chop.
I mean, now you can move the log. Like, it's not easy necessarily, but like, you figured with a little bit of help you could prop it up wherever you wanted. All right, Jebediah.
All right, so we got 2d12
We got 2d12. We got plus 2 from the tool.
Okay, and then am I able to use foraging or no?
You can absolutely use foraging.
Okay.
If you want to argue for it, I might even be like, you could maybe convince me to let you use cabbage farming for it as a
I don't
tangential bonus.
I don't think I'll argue for that one.
Okay.
I don't know how much that would help me in trying to use this tool that's extremely far away. This is more experimental in my head.
Oh, yeah, it is absolutely.
So we're gonna go ahead and do the 2d12, and that's gonna be +4 after the roll,
Yeah.
which is good because that's only a 13 with the +4.
Ooh. A 13 is still a partial success. I think that means you are able to get pretty much a whole plant except for the root structure.
Ooh, very nice.
And I'll even be nice and say there are 2 blossoms on this one, because you saw that there was one with 2 blossoms on it, and you were like, "Ooh, perfect! That's 1 blossom to send to the school, and 1 to turn into drugs."
Ooh,
And then we can
perfect. That's what I was
sell
thinking.
some of those drugs to the boy who sold us a shotgun.
Right. So,
Some of them.
Right.
cool. So I get that chunk, bring it all the way back in, and I'm like, and is there a reason I shouldn't continue?
Only the well, okay, hold on. Because letting you just like roll, well,
It just depends. I
Yeah.
get it. I just wanted to ask.
no, absolutely. If you'd like, you can roll 1 more time, I think.
All right, I will do one more roll.
Though I will say that if you end up getting a compounded failure, really bad things will happen. Don't do the math on how likely you are to get a compounded failure, though.
I'm not going to. We're going to just go ahead and do this real quick.
Okay.
That one is a plus 4 is 12.
12 is another partial success. So you can. I will leave this in your hands. Do you want to get another specimen in the same state as the one that you have now, or do you want to fish out the root structure from the specimen you just barely collected?
I think that our main goal was to get a full specimen if possible, so I think that's probably what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
You probably figure you can still sate your hunger for the dream lily this way. And at least now you know where you can get more, right?
True, and I'm not sure I'm done with our stick friend yet.
Fair.
So I think that somehow I successfully got it, but lost, like, while I like got it and it came our way, like I popped it up and it was floating our direction, but I think that in doing that I might have lost it into the water. Like lost the tool into the water.
Oh, you want to lose the tool?
I do, with 2 partial successes, and to give myself a reason to not be able to keep going, because that would be lame.
Okay, yeah.
I think that I would have had to have lost it to get that last chunk out. Like I got it and I like popped it out towards me, so it's floating our direction slowly, but I lost the tool while doing it.
Okay, yeah, I dig it. Because it's either that or I introduce some kind of a clock that prevents you from doing more, like enemies approaching or something.
Yeah.
Losing the tool is also compelling.
Oh man.
I think that's fine. And then if I need to, I also know magic, so if we need to do this again some other time, maybe I will use the power to make these shears.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, we did just lose your machete. Sorry, friend.
Yeah, Raquel looks very sad.
Yeah, I think I think that is what I think would likely happen, though.
All right, but y'all are able to fish out all of this stuff. You have some like oilcloth or like parchment paper or something that you can wrap everything in, not get any water on your hands. You figure you can probably dry stuff where there is sunlight, at least.
True.
The whole time that this tall stick bug titan man is just kind of mumbling to himself like, oh yeah, may as well use magic to get what you want. It's easier to do that than to make a deal with little old me and let me stretch out my bones. And it's fine, no worries, I'll just be here.
I turn to Raquel and I say, "You think you can live that log now?"
It's lighter, but I don't understand why. I still don't get why you have to hold the whole rock up and keep the lichen alive. Like, it's not like the lichen is that important, is it?
He looks down at you, and his eyes flare with a glow that looks a whole lot like the burning end of one of Vance's cigarettes. And he says, I am a titan. I am a creature of the primordial swamp, beholden to the laws of magic. I made an agreement that the lichen on this stone would survive, and I am bound to that agreement.
Well,
I turn to Raquel and I say, and so I think maybe we could make an agreement too, and he might be bound.
as long as we're not bound by the same, like, that's some ominous words right there.
Well, the only agreement he would have with us is to hold the rock up. We can set some times if we need to, so he can stretch his bones and get us leaves.
Hmm.
And that he has to return to holding the rock.
Yeah. As
He's
long
been very avoidant of that part.
Well, I think that we all might look at him at that point.
Yeah. A grin splits his lips, and he chuckles. Oh, you little humans are always so smart. Of course, I would agree to returning to my former task as soon as it proves necessary. I wouldn't. Since you asked, I of course would not leave any of you stranded in this position that I'm in. After all, you're not nearly as strong as I am, and probably would die of the effort, given more than a few days at this task.
I
Well,
don't even.
I would say so.
Yeah, I
We
don't.
could even set a limit of hours or minutes if that makes you more comfortable.
I'm not even sure we can do it for longer than a couple minutes.
Well, let's see if we can even get this up there and into a good position first. No agreements. He still has to stay there. Can't do anything. Can't leave.
Okay.
We're just seeing if we can even get the log up there.
He nods and says, "Agreed," and his eyes glow a little bit again.
I think I just made a deal, so I'm gonna try. I didn't really mean it as a deal because I was still discussing it, but the glowing eyes made me really feel like I should do it anyway.
Yeah, I helped you heft up the log.
Is there a role for this, Paxton, or are we just
with
doing it?
the two of you working together, there is no role for it.
Okay.
It's up to you exactly how you want to do it. I imagine that you could just kind of slide the end of the log up the length of his body to get it to where you figure it should go, and he can probably nudge it with his head or his chin a little bit to get it in just the right spot that he's been eyeing.
Oh boy.
Okay. Now, how big is this rock again?
The size of a small house.
Size of a small house. Oof. All right. So this is gonna. Does this seem like it'll be able to hold it in place for a little bit of time? Like it's in a good wedge spot and stuff?
Yes. It does seem like it could hold it, especially with one or more of you steadying the log.
All right. Now here's what Jeb is suddenly feeling in his old cabbagey bones. He he feels the magic in himself and the tree that was just recently touched by magic moments ago. And he feels like he could put some magic into it to help it to enhance its strength and to kind of extend roots out below and above, kind of like to expand a little bit like a pillar to be able to hold it in place more steady.
Interesting. Do go on.
Now, I don't know how much that was going to take, but I was thinking that it would probably still fit into the transfiguration section, just warping the matter so it kind of like spreads up and around a little bit further and goes down into the like mud and like the dirt to make it like steady there too.
Okay. So rather than having it grow more, then you plan on just kind of reshaping it to more efficiently use the mass it already has.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
And I feel like that might make it so we might not even have to hold it for it to be supported there. We still should maybe, but we might not have to, and it also might help him to have it be better health for him throughout moving on too.
Okay. Now you have not used substance magic before, right?
No, I used dissuasion before.
Right, and that was soul. So, this is going to be um, tier 2 to get the basic effect, or tier 3 to get a very high effect. So, since it is a transfiguration, that means it will cost you either 2 maximum health or 3 maximum health. And the difference is that if you only spend 2, then probably one of you will still need to steady this thing. And that means that it will prompt a check, which will get easier if more than one of you continues to help. But
Right.
if you spend 3 maximum health, then there will be no need for a check.
I'm gonna talk to him really quick first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I say, all right there, Titan. I think that we can get this here and we may be able to hold it, but I kind of like you. You've been pretty nice to us here. I might be able to put a little bit of magic into this to hold it steady for even longer than we stay. I don't know if that means it'll stay up there forever or not. I don't think that this log will be able to hold it up there forever, but it might mean you can take occasional breaks.
I see. That is extremely generous of you to even suggest trying.
Well, you've been very generous in helping us figure out how to get this whole dream leaf going here. Now, I'm not sure what you think that might be worth to you, but do you have anything you might be able to say or anything you could assist us with that it might be make it worth me putting in that magical effort?
He says, well, if you can, if you help me just this once, or even just this once, I will pick 3 more lilies out of this pond, and I will give them to you with no expectation of further repayment, and um, never trouble you for further assistance. Or, man, let me see. Maybe it's.
Oh, your speaking's hard.
Isn't it? Especially when you start talking about magical creatures that keep their word magically, you know?
Yeah, and I wanted to make sure that I understood if it was going to be worth as much of what it feels like it might be worth.
Yeah. He says, if you help me this once, I will give you 3 further blossoms from these lilies, and I will give them to you free of further charge. And I will neither hinder nor molest you as you leave this place.
Okay, that might be good for a certain amount of time to assist.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do, even when we would leave.
He grins and he says, why, I may simply, in addition to all of that, I may simply have to owe you some favors. Perhaps,
Now, go on, sorry.
perhaps I could give you a token that would let you know anytime I am taking a rest from this labor and depending on your work, so that during that time you could call on me for aid.
I mean, heck, that sounds good to me. I'm gonna go ahead and, well, Titan, I think you have yourself a deal, and I'm gonna put that 3 health into this.
Oh boy.
That's an even better one because then we can give the 2 blossom plant to the university.
Hmm. Yeah, deal. I'm gonna do it. So I'm now down to 4 out of 4 health.
Welcome to the club.
Yay! And I have now extended the tree here to be much more steady, and it's not gonna move easily. Basically, rooted it with its own like extra whatever. It is now a full pillar to assist in holding this up.
Maybe like while you were planning it out, Vance and Raquel worked together to like push uh, like a smaller boulder into position, kind of propping it up.
Mm.
So you could incorporate that boulder a little bit into your structural design.
Totally, and I might have even been able to use some of the mud to kind of come up as a little bit of a strengthener as well. Who knows? But I've just been morphing this thing in every way that I can, and who maybe even it's the stone that melds into the wood near the top, opposed to the wood melding into the stone.
Right, yeah. Um, but there finally, after your great working is finished,
Dear
uh,
Lord, I'm exhausted.
you are absolutely exhausted. You feel like um, your bones feel loose inside your skin a little bit, and every joint in your body is just slightly inflamed. Um, and then uh, sorry, I just uh, had an absurd thought, and I have to say it.
Of course, of course.
Then Atlas shrugs, and um, he slowly bends his knees, and the weight leaves his shoulders, and this tree contraption that you have put up creaks a tiny bit, and it bows just a little bit, and he like freezes just for a moment, and then with kind of a fluid motion he steps out from underneath the stone and stretches, and the tips of his fingers pierce through the canopy of the trees above, and sunlight streams down and hits the three of you squarely. Um, and for just a moment, the sunlight warms your skin, and you hear every single joint in the Titan's body creak and snap and pop. And then he relaxes and says, "Thank you so very much, little man." And he like crouches down so that now your head comes up to almost his sternum, and he reaches out a hand to shake Jebediah's.
I I think I had fallen to the ground, but I will stand up to reach up and take his hand and say, "Well, the pleasure's mine. You've been helpful already, so I hope this helps you in further times."
He says, "Of course." And then he his grasp around your hand tightens, and then he reaches his other hand over the water, and his arm seems to get even longer, impossibly long, and he picks 3 more lotus blossoms and then brings them over, and he like shakes a little bit of water off of them, and he sets them into your hand, and then he lets go of it.
Perfect.
I thought
And
for a second you were gonna say, and he holds your hand tight, holding you in place, and puts blood on your forehead.
Markham.
Got another one.
Got him.
Gotta catch them all.
I'm marked by all the beasts.
Then he reaches up and he yanks several hairs off of his head, and he like impossibly quickly he like braids them into a little friendship bracelet and slips that around your wrist.
Oh yeah. I look down at it. Is it currently giving off a glow or a feeling of him resting?
When you kind of think about it, and like let yourself kind of feel the weight of it against your skin, it does give off a sense of readiness and relaxedness. Yeah.
I turn to him and I say, now, Titan, you said that you'd owe me some favors, and I just realized we never said a number.
He grins and he says, "We did not. We simply agreed that whenever you realized I have a moment free, you are welcome to call upon me, and I will answer." He says, "I will rush to your aid as quickly as I can, in whatever way I can."
Jeb nods and says, okay, if that's what this is worth, then I agree. We already agreed, so it doesn't matter, but I'm glad I know the details.
He says, "Of course."
I turn to my companions and say, is this all we need right now? Gesturing to the new flowers in my hands.
Yeah, that worked out a lot better than I thought it would.
An excellent bargain.
All right, well, Titan, again, it was a pleasure to meet you. I hope that stick holds steady for you for a long time. I'm exhausted and we need to be getting going.
Of course. He says, "Are you sure you wouldn't like to stay here for the night? We could build a small fire, have a meal together, and then you can leave as soon as light returns to, well, wherever it returns to." He stands up and pushes the canopy of the trees away again, and he says, "Up here."
I look at Vance and Raquel, and I say, I'd be fine with staying if you all are. I have a couple of ingredients we can try and not make soup this time.
I'd rather stay here than with the giants.
Yes, I much prefer Mr. Titan to the giant people.
All right then, Titan. You have yourself a deal.
Excellent. In that case, I think if you'd like, I would love to give you this favor of helping with dinner.
Ooh, I would love to cook with a Titan.
He says, "One moment, please," and he bounds off into the trees. You hear a squealing and a snapping sound, and then he returns with a whole gator in his hand, with its head like turned backward.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's cook up that gator.
Is this like a really long one too?
It's pretty long, yeah.
It's got heads on both ends.
No, it does have two tails though, which is lucky because that's where all the good meat is. And I think we will cut here for now.
Okay. Man. The adventures. Thank you everybody for watching. This has been Roll for That. Hope you have a great rest of your night.